Pennsylvania School Board bans pride flags in classrooms.
As most of you probably know, the board is voting on Policy 321. This is a policy that hurts LGBTQ+ students when they are at their most vulnerable. It tells students that their identities should not be discussed in schools. Over the years, we have seen countless policies and directives from Central Bucks schools that target queer students. Our district name is splattered in headlines time and time again. If you want to give them hope to become successful students in every aspect in your district, you will not pass this policy. You will not make their identities taboo. I'm asking you to make good on your promises. Students' eyes are on you. You will vote no on this policy. Show me that you care, and I will feel safe and cared for in my own school district. I will feel like I belong in Central Bucks. Your actions and decisions must match your words. Central Bucks, the world is watching. Please don't let us down. Thank you.
Today I'm here talking about Policy 321 and how harmful that can truly be if you choose to pass it. I shared some facts and statistics from the Trevor Project, such as that 73% of LGBTQ youth report that they had experienced discrimination based on their sexual orientation or gender identity at least once in their lifetime, and those who did attempted suicide at more than twice the rate of those who did in the past year. Trans and queer suicides are not because of the identities themselves, but because of the discrimination and stigma placed upon us, which you are trying to erase with Policy 321. To put it into context for you simply, the same way that the existence of pride flags does not turn straight people gay, I am fully confident that the removal of these flags will not turn me straight. I want to see trans kids grow into trans adults and live long, wonderful, complex lives, regardless of their adults tonight. I want the queer and trans kids who will be in this district years after I've graduated, that they are worthy. You are worthy of love and validation and the freedom to exist and express yourselves. You are not the enemy. You are not a bad person for exploring who you are, and there will always be a place for you. You are loved. Thank you for having me.
The Central Bucks School Board in Pennsylvania just instituted a policy banning teachers from expressing personal political opinions with their words or with visual elements in the classroom. It was decided following a 6-3 vote and extensive debate. Policy 321 will be amended to prohibit teachers from displaying items such as pride flags and Black Lives Matter signs, along with MAGA hats or other items which would possibly be considered politically influenced. The original 2018 version of Policy 321 restricted teachers from participating in political events during school hours, but visual displays will also be included. Central Bucks County is located just north of Philadelphia. The school board listened to 2 hours of public comment, including numerous strong opinions from parents, teachers, and students who supported or condemned the new policy. Board member Tabitha Dell'Angelo said, quote, "The conversation we had at the policy meeting was hot. I sincerely hope my fellow board members listen with an open heart. This policy also includes language that I've said out loud. We should be teaching how to think, not what to think," end quote. Opponents are calling the policy a form of censorship. As per CBS News Philadelphia, Heather Reynolds, one of the parents, said, quote, "I'm concerned as a parent. I'm concerned as a community member. The decisions that the district is making have a real-world impact on our students and our community," end quote. Goodness, this is an intense story. I have to say, I got kind of emotional just watching that. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure just looking around the table, I know we all did. And I mean, I hope this doesn't come across as patronizing in any way, but the kids are all right. I mean, there's 1,000 things we could say, but I just want to say first and foremost, thank you and I'm sorry to all the young people who are going through this battle. We see you, we hear you, we're grateful for your voice, and we're sorry that you have to lead this charge, but we are here with you.
And the world is watching.
And the world is
watching.
Mm-hmm. I want to echo the sentiment about the students, but what I'm seeing from these students, and I'm seeing from some of the students we've had sit here on our Queer News panel that are high school students, is we are organizing an army of activists that are going to be out there and that are going to vote and are going to organize people to fight back against these things. So as much as this pains me to see people have to go to a school board meeting instead of like enjoying what you should be enjoying in high school, football games and proms and things that are fun, that they have to go and advocate just to be recognized. It's sickening, but also I see them and I see that they're going to be great leaders in the future.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm a trans woman of a certain age. Don't tell anybody. And you know, when I was watching the piece, I couldn't help to think about my little self in school. And at that time, the world may have been watching, but they didn't do anything. So that's the difference with today. The world is watching, and people are coming together to do something about it. Because you know, I felt oftentimes ostracized, and I felt like I couldn't even go to the teachers for support. You know, you get beat up, oh, well, maybe he needs a little toughening up. You know, maybe it'll butch him up a little bit. So that sort of thing.
Well, you paved the way for so many people.
Oh, well, thank you.
It's true, though.
Well, you know, and now that Josh Shapiro, no relation, by the way, has been sworn in as the new Pennsylvania governor, the state's rejection of political extremism, as seen in Doug Doughboy Mastriano and Dr. Oz, it's still being put to the test, and this is the proof right here. I hope that Shapiro and his cronies are able to hold these crazy people off.
You know, there's good news and there's even better news in this story, and it might not be completely apparent. First off, this school board in the 6-3 decision likely sets the groundwork for legal challenge. And they set the groundwork for legal challenge because they frame what the teacher can do from a standpoint of free speech. And when they position themselves to say you can't have a MAGA embracement and you can't have a pride flag and you can't have anything that has to do with Black Lives Matter, they're going out on the limb to say, wait, we're dealing with everything equally, meaning you can't have free speech. And that's what they're telling, and the decision that they're making of the teacher or teachers. The Supreme Court has repeatedly ruled, even as the supermajority that is right now in the Supreme Court, it is very hard for me to imagine that the current Supreme Court makeup would support the idea that you can't express speech in your classroom, and that a teacher is in a class where you can't. And the proof of that is those same 6 in the supermajority think money is free speech in political campaigns. It's very hard for me to believe that the Supreme Court would agree with this 6-3 decision in Bucks County. That's good news. The second is the Supreme Court is going to overturn this. If this is challenged and it goes on, and this playbook of whoever mimeographs the plays like this across the country in school boards, this is how we'll get Black Lives Matter and Pride and. First off, if it means that we have to accept conversation about MAGA, then okay, because let's discuss that, and the free speech of that comes to the conclusion of value or rejection. We're going to talk about fascism. We're going to talk about communism. We're going to talk about various things, including Pride and Black Lives Matter. And at the end of the day, when that's argued in front of the Supreme Court, Bucks County is going to lose. That's the good news. We'll have to get there, but they're going to lose.
Oh, thank God.
So, did you enjoy the show? I know you did. So make sure to click subscribe so you won't miss any of the events, news, or interviews right here on the Faye What Show. Ring the bell at the bottom of the screen, right there, so you'll be alerted every time we're live. You can also click on the Happening Out Television Network logo so you can see all of the shows on the most diverse LGBTQ+ media network. Find out just what we're doing to bring the L and the G together right here on the Faye What Show. Get the week started with me.